recording.
Got some stories that I wanna tell you, so won't you come and go with me? Time to be real, time to heal. Singing photographer podcast. Life true revealed.
Everybody put your hands up. Hey, 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 hey.
Life true revealed.
Like, share, subscribe to my daddy's podcast.
So what was it like growing up as a little boy in this big musical family with so much talent and just finding your own voice as an artist aside from the Winans?
Well, you know, I would tell people all the time, I kind of thought everybody was doing the same thing we were doing in our house. You know, when my mom and dad would have us gather around, we started singing and they would make us rehearse and stuff. I thought every family was doing that. It wasn't until we got into the business and kind of looked from the outside in and kind of figured, yeah, this was kind of different because everybody could sing and everybody was musical. And the way our parents taught us how to take our gift and hone in on it and really perfect it and taught us harmonies and all that kind of stuff. So when I looked from the outside looking in, after being in the business here, this is kind of special to have all these people, all these kids that could sing, you know. And my parents could sing all of us on their taste, you know, but for them to teach us how to do it, you know, was pretty special. But yeah, and then I kind of found my voice.
What's up, everyone? A very warm welcome to the Singing Photographer podcast, where music meets the lens. I'm your host, Ron J. McCrae, and I'm here with a legend in gospel music who's known around the world. He is not only a Grammy Award-winning artist, he's also a producer and songwriter, Mr. Carvin Winans, here at the Festival of Praise. Welcome to the show, Carvin.
Thank you, Ron.
Thank you.
To be here.
So for those of you who don't know you, tell us who you are, what you do for a living, and your favorite genre of film to watch.
All right. Well, my name is Carvin Winans. You just said that, brother. From the Winans family. And I'm a recording artist. I've been in this business for over 40 years now, you know, singing and writing and all that kind of stuff. My favorite genre of movies, I got to go with my favorite movie of all time is The Godfather.
Godfather, okay.
Yeah.
So what genre would that fall in?
That would be gangster,
Gangster.
I guess.
Well, I've never seen The Godfather.
Never seen it?
No.
Well, once you see it, you know exactly what I'm talking about.
Okay.
Because it has so many different folks and different things that you can even, as you grow up, you listen to people say certain things and then it's like, man, that wasn't The Godfather. So that's what he meant by that, you know.
Quotables.
Yeah,
Yeah.
So yeah, but it's a good movie. It's a good learning lesson too.
I'm embarrassed to say that on my podcast that I've never seen The
That's
Godfather.
okay. But how you're a young guy, so it's a lot of people ain't seen.
I'll be 40 next year. My birthday is this
should've
past
seen
Wednesday. I have no
You
excuse.
should have seen it by now. No.
So, have you been a part of the Festival of Praise before?
No,
No?
I don't think so.
First time?
Yeah.
So I know that, you know, this is the Detroit Legends Tour.
Yeah.
So you all know each other very well.
Yeah, absolutely. Fred wasn't at the school when I was there because I'm a little bit older than Fred, but we all went to the same high school.
Okay.
Clark Sisters, I did go to high school with them.
Wow.
And but Fred started out playing with us,
Mhm.
playing bass before he got commissioned together.
Wow.
And Dietrich, I didn't go to. He's younger than me, but he's a Detroit guy, you know. And Marvin Sapp was in our area too. I think he was. Marvin was in Grand Rapids.
Okay. Wow.
But yeah, we grew up all together. The Clark sisters' mom, Maddie Moss Clark, had this thing that she would do in the inner city of Detroit called the it was the Midnight Musical. That's what it's called. And she would get all the young talent around that was coming up, and the Winans, we were known as the testimonial singers back then. And then Fred and Commission came. We all came through that channel, right?
Wow.
And it was just fabulous because you have Vanessa Bell Armstrong, just a bunch of talent in Detroit that Maddie Moss kind of rounded up and gave us all a shot.
Wow. The Clark sisters happen to be my favorite musical group
they're
of all time.
incredible.
I feel like they're everybody's favorite.
They're incredible. Just always been the same. Always been the same. And I love them for that. They've not let this industry change them in the least. So, yeah.
So, what was it like growing up as a little boy in this big musical family with so much talent and just finding your own voice as an artist aside from the Winans?
Well, I would tell people all the time, I kind of thought everybody was doing the same thing we were doing in our house. When my mom and dad would have us gather around, we started singing and they would make us rehearse and stuff. I thought every family was doing that. It wasn't until we got into the business and kind of looked from the outside in and kind of figured, yeah, this was kind of different because everybody could sing and everybody was musical. And the way our parents taught us how to take our gift and hone in on it and really perfect it and taught us harmonies and all that kind of stuff. So wow, when I looked from the outside looking in after being in the business, this is kind of special to have all these people all these kids that could sing, and my parents could sing all of us under the table, but for them to teach us how to do it, was pretty special. But yeah, and then I kind of found my voice. Well, it started out with myself, Marvin, Ronald, and Michael, and so within there, I knew what my part was. I knew what my voice was there, and so we kind of just, all four of us was just different, and so we knew what part we had to play when it came to the Winans, and then as I grew older in the business, I kind of figured what I could do. Then God blessed me to really do some serious songwriting and hone in on that craft, and so Marvin was an inspiration in that because he was always writing. But God really blessed me to be able to start doing that, and I just kind of found my lane vocally and writing songs and all that kind of stuff.
Where do you find the inspiration for your music comes from?
Life, basic, just life. Wrote a lot of songs. I wrote a few songs, basically that really dealt with things I was going through at the time. I wrote a song for Regina Bell called "Make It Like It Was," and I really wrote it for the brothers, and they didn't want to do it on that particular album, so I gave it to her, and it went #1 R&B. And I tell people this because it wasn't an R&B song, it wasn't a gospel song, but the lyrics was it was like a time I was going through. I had stopped praying, stopped fasting, I stopped just doing everything I knew I was supposed to be doing. And I wanted God to make it like it was, to bring me back to that. And it went #1 R&B. Wow. So it comes from life. Tomorrow, the song Tomorrow that I wrote for the brothers, me and the brothers, how you procrastinate when your parents tell you to do certain things, that cut the grass and all that. I'm gonna do it, but I'll get there tomorrow. But you can't do that with Christ. You can't keep doing it. Right. Now we do it, but you can't keep doing it because at some point he gonna knock at that door, and if you don't open it, I might not get no more knocks. So that again came from life experience. I think a lot of songs come from what we deal with in life.
Absolutely. You have an album out called Cool Gospel.
Cool Gospel.
Since I've learned of the album, I have not been able to stop listening to it.
That's great.
Like, it is amazing.
That's great.
Not just vocally, but the styles of music is very relatable to genres larger than just gospel.
Yes, exactly.
Like, I think my favorite song is it's hard because I love them all. Shining Star, I know that's the first one. Blessings is another favorite of mine. And each song tells a different portrayal of the gospel, which I love. So
I think my style, though, like you said, it kind of lends itself to other than just gospel music.
Yeah.
And the wine is, if anybody has followed me and my brothers, our career, our music has always done that, right? Like secular radio picked up on our music before gospel music did. Wow. Gospel radio did, right? And so this particular album, Cool Gospel, I wanted to keep that same. It's just my style. It's just what I'm just not your typical gospel singer, gospel writer, and so I wanted to continue down that trail, right? And so Cool Gospel is funny. The two songs you named, like Shining Star, Blessings was one of my favorite. Shining Star was one of my favorites too, but we have a new we have a remix coming out of Shining Star.
Nice. Okay.
And so it's myself and Carvin Edmonds from After Seven, the group After Seven.
Okay.
Yeah, he's doing it with me. Awesome. And his voice is just phenomenal, man. If you know anything about After Seven,
I haven't heard of it. I have to look.
you never heard of After Seven? You know who Babyface is? It's
Yep.
Babyface's brother.
Got it.
Yeah,
Okay.
Carvin Edmonds. But listen to After Seven because he's incredible.
Okay.
And so that's coming out real soon, and then we'll be starting on our next project. But Cool Gospel was fun to do. My wife Cherie, she helped me write most of the songs along with some other writers we had, right? And worked with some great producers, Carlos Beatty, Greg Pagani, what's my man, Sean Garrett, who has like 54 number hits. He's the phenomenal in the R&B world. But yeah, I had fun putting that record together, But then again, it's life, blessings.
Yeah.
We all need blessings right now, and this is the world we living in.
Absolutely.
And then you got to believe. I went through a thing that if I didn't keep believing God and trusting God, I wouldn't have made it.
Wow.
And so it's all it deals with life.
Yeah. That's real. I want to respond to what you just said about having to keep believing God or else you wouldn't have made it. It wasn't in the conversation to go here, but it's a vulnerable moment, like experiencing divorce last year, and my world just flipped upside down. I have a beautiful 7-year-old child and having to learn how to be a single dad and just starting over in life. And I felt like many times like it's over, and I was questioning God. I was angry with God. It's like, yeah, if you would have told me this before we said I do, I probably wouldn't have chosen this.
Well, the thing is, Brian, you're talking to someone who been through divorce, so I know how it is, and it's tough. I understand really clearly why God hates divorce. I understand because it's painful.
Absolutely.
It's painful for everybody.
Everybody. Yeah.
But there is life.
Yeah.
After that, And I met my wife Cherie. Now we've been together for 27 years now.
Wow. Congratulations.
And so the thing is that you have to own up to your mistakes.
Yeah.
We all make them. But God is forgiving. He never said he wouldn't forgive you.
Right.
He hates divorce, but he said he wouldn't forgive you. But you can't, people play with it. They play with marriage. They play with, I don't like the way she snores, so I'm getting a divorce. Right? No, it's not a game.
Yeah.
But if it happens, it happens. You don't want it to happen, but God will get you through it. So I'm here to let you know. Don't beat yourself up, but just pray, and the next time around, just know that you whatever mistakes you made, you don't make it the second time.
Yeah. Learn from
it.
Yeah.
Just and move forward.
Thank you. That's very valuable. And before we continue on, I do want to stop to acknowledge your wife, Mrs. Cherie Winans. Very sweet when I met her backstage earlier during your sound check. I just wanted to give respect and honor to her who's in the room.
Yeah, she's right there with me. She ain't behind me. I live there. She's right next to me. Yeah.
Love that. Now, there's a song on your album called He Who Know God. And there's a line that says, after Obama, we still on decline. Talk to us about that line.
And that's a line that Sean Garrett wrote, but I love that line.
Yes, it's true.
I think what he was saying is that after Obama, I think the line says, after Obama, we still on a decline. Yeah, because we still can't seem to get ourselves together as a black people, and even as Christians, we can't seem to see eye to eye.
Yep.
What is a white Christian? What is a black Christian?
Right.
We Christians, we're supposed to be brothers and sisters in Christ, all of us.
Right.
And so we have to learn, and I think what he was saying, we have to learn to stop blaming other people and come together as a people,
Mm-hmm.
as saints,
Mhm.
you know, and learn to get along and help each other out.
Right.
You know, quit thinking that someone is better than someone. I see that so much in this entertainment field because you win a Grammy or 2 or 3 or whatever,
Mhm.
or you win an award, you think that you are better than
Mhm.
somebody else. Sure. Who told you that?
Yeah.
You know, artists, a lot of artists, they don't learn to I was telling her, I was in Kansas City last weekend in a concert, and I was telling the people that if it wasn't for the fans,
Mhm.
I wouldn't be on stage.
Mm.
They had to buy the records. They had to buy the tickets. You know, they had to stream the songs,
Mhm.
right? And so I don't think I'm better than that. I don't. I just don't. Never have.
Mm.
You know, through my whole career, and I've sang with Michael Jackson,
Mhm.
Man in the Mirror, you know, Stevie Wonder, Anita Baker, uh, all the great people, man.
Mm.
You know, and so, but it doesn't make you better than nobody else just because they don't sing or they, you know, they could be collected garbage or it don't make you better. You know,
Absolutely.
and so that's what people need to understand. And without the fans, we're not where we are.
Mhm.
Period. So.
Have you ever had moments in your career where you questioned your ability or if you could really do music and be successful at it? And if so, how did you overcome it?
I questioned it later on in my career because when I moved to Canada, when I married Cherie and I moved to Canada,
Mhm.
thinking that I could start over. Ronald had just passed and I didn't want to sing anymore, right?
Mhm.
And so when I got there, you know, Cherie and my twin brother Marv, they kind of encouraged me to kind of get back in it. But I didn't really want to do it. And God let me know, you got a gift, you got to do it. But
Mhm.
one reason I didn't want to do it because I couldn't hit the notes anymore,
Mm.
right? Because I had stopped singing for so long, and that vocal cord is a muscle.
Mhm.
So if you don't work it,
Yep.
it tightens up,
Sure.
right? And so I didn't. I would wake up and there's a song I sing called "When You Cry," and I could do that in my sleep, right?
Mhm.
Then one day I woke up, tried to sing, it couldn't hit the falsetto, couldn't hit the hard natural, couldn't do none of that.
Mm.
And I said, man, is it over or what? You know.
Mm.
So then I saw this thing called the Singing Straw, and got in and I started
Yep.
doing it
Mhm.
religiously every day,
It worked.
practicing every day, and it worked.
Mhm.
And I started being able to hit my notes, and I said, okay, I ain't done. Matter of fact, I'm almost good as I was before. I still got it. You know
Yeah.
that. So yeah, it's just at that's the only point I felt like I can do it. But I never doubted the gift God gave me.
Mhm.
Never doubted.
Mhm.
You know, and even with within the Winans, you know, everybody would talk about Marv and this, and I understood because he was from Iowa, you know. But Ronald was amazing,
Mm.
you know. Michael for what he did was amazing, you know, and I brought stuff to the table. Right.
Mhm.
So we all knew. That's what I say. We all knew where our place was.
Yep.
Of course, Marv was a showboat. He was, you know,
Mhm.
nobody could do like he was on
Yeah.
stage. He was just amazing. He could vamp a song like nobody's business off the top of his head, just come up with anything, you know. That was his gift.
Mm.
But I knew what I had, and I
Mhm.
never doubted what I had. I never doubted it, and I knew long as I would stay before God, he would make it better, long as I would practice it
Mhm.
and rehearse. I definitely was probably in the studio one of the better background singers in the one,
Mhm.
because they used me for everything, right?
Mhm.
And so, but then I became a really good leader too, along with Marvin and Ronald. And so I never had doubts. I never had doubts to this day.
So, what advice would you give to our listeners for those who may be struggling with finding their lane? Like you said, you all did your lanes really well. Speak to the people who don't know what their lane are, and as a result, they've buried the gift.
Well, the first thing you have to do, I think, is pray. They'll develop a prayer life. I do that every morning, 6:30 in the morning. I'm on my knees praying. And I give God the first hour of every day. The first hour. I've been doing this for years now, right? So you have to establish that. You have to establish your walk again and your relationship with Christ. Then ask him the direction.
Mhm.
Where should I go? Then, if you have that gift, if you think you have that gift, singing or writing, then you have to do your part and practice. Practice writing. The first song I wrote, man, I remember my brothers, they just laughed me under the table, you know. And when I would listen back to it, I understood why, because it was like, what in the world was I saying? But you have to take your gift, be serious about it, and practice when it comes to songwriting and singing, and then God will do the rest. Because you can have a great voice, but if you don't have the anointing, it don't mean nothing, So, you have a gift will work, because he ain't gonna repent about your gift. But if you're doing it for God, then he has to be first. He has to be the one that directs you where to go. So yeah, I would say just keep praying. Don't and go after your dream. Go after it. Don't be discouraged about it. And this is if you really know. Now some people, I'm gonna say, Rod, some people think they can sing. Maybe their parents told them but they really can't. So don't keep chasing that, because that ain't gonna happen. They ain't gonna never develop. But if you really think you have that gift and you really do, then just go after that free.
Two artists come to mind that told me that when I met them. One was Edwin Hawkins many years ago at the Kennedy Center. He was coming out from performing, and I asked him, "What advice would you give to an aspiring artist?" First thing he said, I was really, really young.
It had to be,
And he said, to make sure God called you to do it.
That's right.
Pastor Jason Nelson said, make sure God called you to do it. I think that's key.
Yeah.
So thank you for
If he
sharing
can,
that.
don't try it.
Right.
You try it, but it ain't gonna really happen.
All right. So the next few questions that I have are from some of your followers on my social media. And so they submitted questions that they would like to ask you. The first is from a stellar award-winning gospel recording artist by the name of Brandon Camphor. Brandon Camphor asks, do you feel like you are ready for the assignment God had for your life now that you have lived it out?
Was I ready when it started? Is that what the question is? Was I ready for it?
Do you feel like you were ready for it?
No. I know he wasn't ready for it. I'm not even gonna go into why, but we was not ready. Because this business, and I asked God, God, why you put us in this? And I knew we were called to do it, but when you're in it, and the different obstacles you have to come up against, different spiritual obstacles you got to come up against, it's like, Jesus, I don't know if I'm on the side of this. That's why you got to know God called you to do it.
Yeah.
Right. But no, but then I didn't, in the beginning, I didn't think we were ready for it. And it took some time, because when we signed our first contract, we didn't get into the studio till 2 years later, right? And we was like, but I thank God we didn't, because if we had got it there time right after we signed, it would have been a shipwreck, So I wasn't ready at the beginning, but he definitely got us ready. Yeah.
I think about a very popular saying in Christian spaces is that God doesn't call the equipped. He doesn't call the qualified. He qualifies those who he calls.
That's right.
He doesn't pick us based on
Your
our ability, what we think we can do, because Jesus himself said, without me, you can do nothing. So you can have the gift.
Look at Moses. Moses wasn't a good speaker. He stammered, and stuttered, and but God said, I got you, So yeah, I like that quote.
The next question is from Rich Griffiths from North Carolina, and he asked, how do you feel the gospel industry has changed since you started in it, and where do you see it going in the next decade?
Since I started in it, well, it's so funny, because when we got in it, people were saying we changed the direction of it with all the contemporary stuff, right? And then Kirk Franklin came around and took us somewhere else, Yeah. BB and CC, even before Kirk Franklin, BB and CC came in and did some stuff with it. But I think it's in a good direction. I know it's very popular, but I just think what we need to do is make sure that we just stay on track. I understand, just like we talked about my music, being where it kind of lends itself to other genres than gospel, right? Which is fine, but we just have to make sure that our message is sound. And it's definitely we direct the people to Christ, right? and not just doing out there trying to be more popular than the next person. And I think it's in a good place. I think we going somewhere. Even my next album, we going somewhere. We'll be going in even a different place.
Yeah.
But it's gonna be viable. It's gonna be sound when it comes lyrically.
And finally, this question comes from me. What struggle made you the artist that you are today?
Which struggle made me the artist that I am today? I think the waiting, like I said, when we first signed, we had to wait. We had to wait, and until, because Andrew Crouch signed us, but we didn't get into the studio until 2 years after we signed, and the waiting part was really hard because we were singing all over Detroit, right? And people loved us, and so we wanted to really get out there, but it wasn't time, And so the wait, which like I said earlier, I thank God for the wait that we had to go through before he really put us out there, because it would have been a shipwreck. But I think that waiting part kind of matured us. That once we got in it, we kind of knew what to expect, because my dad would always stay on us. If this happens, even when we signed and went out to LA to record our first album, Introducing Wireless, he came with us because we were young, 21. No, we were 22 years old, and we hadn't been out there. We didn't know nothing about the streets. We didn't know nothing about this industry, and so the waiting kind of, and between the waiting and my parents, they kind of groomed us. And then we kind of groomed BD and Cece, who came behind us, and then Daniel and Angie and Debbie, everybody came behind us. We kind of groomed them for that. But the waiting was very instrumental, and I think developing us to what we became, and not just jumping out there right away.
Right.
Yeah.
That's really solid. I think a lot of times, especially, so I'm a millennial, and just seeing like contemporaries in ministry and not wanting to go through the process of preparation of God's refining process. Like, you can be called, but it doesn't mean that he's sending.
That's right.
Just
At
like
that time.
At that time.
Right.
So just like with the disciples, before he sent them off, he said, go to the upper room of Jerusalem and wait until you be endued with power from on high.
That's right.
You can't do the work of ministry without the Holy Spirit.
That's right. You can't.
So there's a difference between the call and the commission.
And you saw how they acted even when Jesus was here, and they was following him everywhere, and they still didn't have it.
Yep.
So yeah, you have to wait, and that was part of the waiting too. God, getting more of God and trusting Him. And so it is valuable, man. I tell people, and I've learned to be very patient in my life. Period. I've learned to be very, very patient. Even things that I know God is going to do now, I'm still patient, and I said, I'm not doing nothing. I'm waiting on you. I'm just gonna continue to wait on you till that's done. And so it's valuable. Waiting is there's something in waiting and having patience.
Absolutely. Final question: when people hear your name, maybe 50 years from now, what do you hope they remember?
I want them to remember that Carvin Winans really loved Jesus. Period. Because. And man, I don't take it lightly. We've won a lot of awards, and I've been blessed, with my wife and my children, my grandchildren. I've been blessed, man. I got my health and strength, But I want people, and I think I'm a decent singer, I think I'm a decent writer, but I want people to remember, man, he talked about Jesus every chance he got. Whether it's somebody in his field, whether it's somebody, a next door neighbor, or just somebody he met at the grocery store, I want them to know, man, he was saved. He didn't just talk about it. His life was that. So that's what I go for. I mean, I could care less about this other stuff. I really don't care nothing about it. I really don't. And people, they'll interview me, or I'll be around people say, man, you're a legend. I don't even feel like that. I really don't, because I don't care about that stuff. And so But if people want to get me excited, let's talk about Jesus. Talk about Jesus. Period, man. Yeah, that's it.
Mr. Carvin, this was a wonderful first interview for my podcast, and I want to thank you for your time.
You want?
And I can't wait to experience your ministry tonight.
Thank you, bro.
God bless you.
Bless you.